If you're obsessed with shipping container modifications like we are, and you like saving time, this video is gonna blow your mind. Today, we are introducing our new wood stud bracket, or WSB for short. This thing is gonna revolutionize the container framing industry, coupled with our SSB, our steel stud brackets. So in this video, we're gonna show you how to frame the interior of a 20-foot shipping container utilizing wood 2x4s. Stay tuned, hope you learn something. The laser cut folded design of this bracket is immensely functional. There's so much thought that's put into this. All these holes, flanges, you name it, everything in here is designed with a purpose. And we're gonna show you as we install the wood stud across the ceiling, how this thing works exactly and why it does all the thinking for you. We're gonna install the first bracket right up tight against the end wall corner casting, and then we're gonna continue to work our way towards the container doors, 24 inches on center. The installation process is quite simple. You just align the center slot with the mark that we just made and self-tapping screw it into the 60mm top tubing. Get to work. Like we said, everything on this bracket has a purpose, and this little notch here, there's a little lasered notch, and that is actually where we're supposed to hook our measuring tape. And so from there, we can actually just span straight across. And if you're good with the tape, if you're good, 89.5. So 89.5 inches is what we want to cut our 2x4 to, and that's going to leave a ½ inch or so here, so that if we spray foam the ceiling, we can still get foam in behind there, and we don't have the least amount of thermal bridging as possible, because that wood is porous and it's going to want to wick moisture. Let's hang the studs. So with these brackets right here, there's holes in the top and the bottom, and that'll stop the wood studs from twisting. So the bracket is designed to do that. Also, this is where we measured, that's where we cut, and now we have room in behind. So the next thing is just to take your traditional wood screw, put 2 of them in there. So there you have it. Before I tell you about the very final cool thing about these brackets, please help us out, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for notification. But back to them. Another really interesting design feature on these is that these holes are offset from the one side to the other. So if you run a screw through this side and this side, they're actually not gonna run into each other. So you can put all 4 screws in, I advise it. What's awesome about these container modification world wood stud brackets is they also define your wall plane. So right here, even if you did mineral wool insulation and then 2 inches of rigid foam, still your wall can sit against here, and it ensures that your wall is away from here. So when you do get spray foam, you get that nice continuous vapor barrier. So we have a plethora of options here on how to finish the interior walls, and it really depends on how you intend to use this thing. So if you're just gonna be building shelves per se on one side, you could continue to utilize 2x4s, and now you're not poking a whole bunch of walls through the sidewall to hold your shelving up. But if you're looking to make a space out of this and you want to use 2x4s on both sides, you're going to be left with under 7 feet of interior width. So to make this place feel wider, you can continue to use steel studs down the walls, and there's 1 5/8 steel studs. So they're very sleek, but they do their intended job. They hold your wall covering up, and they would be a perfect mate to this. And then there's other options. We actually been playing around with tucking 1 5/8 steel studs right into the outside corrugations to try to make a perfectly flush wall. Who knows if that's gonna work. It might be a kind of a springy wall, but it would give you the max interior width inside of this thing. That would be useful for places like if you're doing a self-storage facility out of containers and you needed a fire-rated wall covering between the two containers adjacent to each other. And then you can play around with the types of materials. So we can change out this wood for a composite. If you're in a humid environment and you don't want this wood to rot away and cause a bunch of mold or health concerns, you can use composite lumber, and that would protect that, but still allow you to use that stiff, rigid wood that you're used to working with. So if you are a DIYer and you're thinking about framing a shipping container for the first time, this is going to save you a ton of time. This right here is way better than the traditional way that I used to frame shipping containers with wood about 12 years ago. We used to stand up the walls, we'd build them outside, and then once they were up, we'd run the ceiling studs across and air nail them. But the whole walls could parallelogram and move, and they were always moving on us before spray foam. And then once they were locked into place, if they weren't plumb, oh boy, then we had problems. So this is an ideal way to frame using wood studs in shipping containers for non-human occupied purposes. I say non-human occupied spaces because if you're building a container home, I truly think you should still be using steel studs. But if you're going to use wood, you're going to use spray foam, these will keep the wood away from the walls, and then it's just how you finish your walls from there. $99, $100. Oh. So if you found this video helpful, please help us out. Give the video a like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to our channel and ring that bell for notifications. And as always, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something.